When you're managing diabetes, it's really important to pay close attention to how you prepare your food, especially when it comes to vegetables. Now, we all know vegetables are a cornerstone of a diabetic diet, but did you realize that certain cooking methods can actually reduce their nutritional punch, or worse, cause those unwanted blood sugar spikes? So, in this presentation, we're going to dive into 7 key cooking mistakes that folks with diabetes should definitely steer clear of, all to help you achieve optimal health and keep those blood sugar levels nice and stable. Top 7 vegetable cooking mistakes. Diabetics must avoid. Number 1, deep frying vegetables. First up, let's talk about deep frying vegetables. Sure, deep frying can make those veggies taste incredibly crispy and delicious, but if you're managing diabetes, this cooking method can be a real troublemaker. The main issue here is the sheer amount of unhealthy fats, often saturated or trans fats depending on the oil you use, that vegetables soak up during deep frying. These fats can lead to weight gain and raise the risk of heart disease, which, as many know, is a common concern with diabetes. What's more, meals high in fat can sometimes cause delayed blood sugar spikes, making it even trickier to manage your glucose levels. And it's not just about the added fats. Deep frying also seriously changes how vegetables affect your blood sugar. You see, many vegetables are naturally low on the glycemic index, meaning they usually have a pretty small impact on blood sugar. However, the batter or breading that's often used in deep frying adds a load of refined carbohydrates. When you combine these carbs with the fat, it can cause a much bigger and often unpredictable jump in blood glucose levels compared to when vegetables are cooked in healthier ways. This, of course, makes it more difficult to keep that stable blood sugar control that's so vital for managing diabetes. But don't worry, there's good news. There are much healthier ways to get that satisfying texture and flavor without having to deep fry. For instance, air frying has become super popular. It uses superheated air to cook food, giving you a crispy outside with way less oil. Roasting vegetables in the oven with just a little olive oil and some herbs is another fantastic option that can really bring out their natural sweetness and create a wonderful texture. Both of these methods help keep more of the nutrients in your vegetables and steer clear of the problems caused by too much fat and refined carbs from deep frying. So, when you're opting for these healthier methods like air frying, some vegetables work especially well and are really kind to your blood sugar. Think about non-starchy veggies like zucchini, bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, and asparagus. These are all excellent choices. They're packed with fiber and low in carbohydrates, which makes them perfect for a diabetic-friendly diet. Just season them up with your favorite herbs and spices, and you've got a delicious and healthy side dish that truly supports your wellness goals. Number 2, boiling vegetables excessively. Next, let's consider our second point, boiling vegetables excessively. Now, boiling might seem like a straightforward way to cook your veggies, but if you overdo it, you can actually strip away a lot of their valuable nutrients. We're talking about water-soluble vitamins here, like vitamin C, and those important B vitamins such as folate and thiamine. They're especially at risk. When vegetables sit in boiling water for too long, these essential nutrients just leach out into the cooking water, which, let's be honest, usually just goes down the drain. This means you could be missing out on the full nutritional benefits that vegetables are meant to provide. And that's so important for overall health, particularly when you're managing diabetes. And it's not just the vitamins. Overboiling can also take a toll on the fiber content in vegetables. Fiber is a real hero in diabetes management because it helps to slow down sugar absorption, which means a more gradual increase in your blood glucose levels. But when vegetables get too soft and mushy from being boiled for too long, their fibrous structure can start to break down. So while the fiber is technically still there, it might not be as effective at regulating blood sugar as it would be if the vegetables were cooked to a nice, tender, crisp texture. So, what's a better alternative? Well, steaming is a much, much better way to cook vegetables if you want to hold on to those precious nutrients and fiber. Unlike boiling, steaming uses hot vapor to cook the veggies, so they don't have that prolonged direct contact with water. To do it right, you'll want to use a steamer basket placed over a pot of simmering water. Just make sure the vegetables aren't actually touching the water. Then pop a lid on the pot to trap the steam and let the vegetables cook gently. This method is fantastic for keeping their vibrant color, their great texture, and most importantly, all those vital nutrients and beneficial fiber. Of course, the ideal cooking time will change depending on what vegetable you're working with. For example, delicate leafy greens like spinach might only need a couple of minutes in the steamer. On the other hand, denser veggies like broccoli or carrots might need a bit longer, say 5 to 10 minutes. The goal is to aim for that perfect tender, crisp texture. They should be soft enough to pierce with a fork, but still have a little bit of a bite to them. Checking them regularly as they cook is key to prevent overcooking and make sure you're getting all the amazing health benefits from your vegetables. Number 3, adding unhealthy fats and heavy sauces. Now for our third mistake to avoid, adding unhealthy fats and heavy sauces. We all know vegetables are absolute nutritional powerhouses, right? But their amazing benefits can be quickly undone if we douse them in unhealthy fats and heavy sauces. Think about things like too much butter, rich cheese sauces, or heavy cream. Sure, they add flavor, but they also pile on the saturated fats and extra calories. For anyone with diabetes, who often needs to keep an eye on weight and protect their heart health, these kinds of additions can really work against you, potentially leading to higher cholesterol and increased insulin resistance. And it's not just about the fat content. These rich additions can also indirectly mess with your blood glucose levels. Meals that are high in fat can slow down digestion. Now, that might sound like a good thing, but it can also cause a delayed and sometimes longer-lasting rise in blood sugar that's much harder to predict and manage. On top of that, many pre-made sauces and dressings have hidden sugars and refined carbohydrates lurking in them, which can directly cause blood sugar spikes, effectively canceling out the good work those vegetables are doing for you. But here's the great part. You absolutely don't need unhealthy fats or sugary sauces to make your vegetables taste amazing. It's time to embrace the incredible power of herbs and spices. Fresh or dried herbs like rosemary, thyme, oregano, basil, and dill can completely transform the flavor of your veggies. And spices like cumin, coriander, turmeric, paprika, and garlic powder, they add such wonderful depth and complexity. Even a simple drizzle of heart-healthy olive oil, a squeeze of fresh lemon or lime juice, or a little splash of vinegar can enhance flavors beautifully, all while keeping you on track with your health goals. Want a quick idea? Try a simple yet super flavorful seasoning blend. Just mix some garlic powder, onion powder, dried parsley, and a pinch of black pepper. This is fantastic on roasted or steamed vegetables. If you're feeling a Mediterranean vibe, toss your veggies with some olive oil, lemon juice, oregano, and maybe a tiny sprinkle of feta cheese, making sure to use it sparingly. Or for something zesty and Asian-inspired, how about a light dressing made with low-sodium soy sauce, rice vinegar, a bit of ginger, and a touch of sesame oil? The point is, get experimenting with these healthier alternatives. It's all about enjoying delicious, flavorful vegetables that really support your diabetes management. Number 4, choosing predominantly starchy vegetables. Moving on to the fourth mistake, which is choosing predominantly starchy vegetables. While it's true that all vegetables offer nutritional benefits, it's really important for diabetics to understand the difference between starchy and non-starchy types. You see, starchy vegetables like white potatoes, corn, and peas have more carbohydrates per serving compared to their non-starchy friends. These carbohydrates break down into glucose during digestion, and that can lead to a more significant and quicker rise in blood sugar levels, especially if you eat them in large amounts or don't balance your meal properly. Now, the key here isn't to completely banish starchy vegetables from your diet, because they do offer important nutrients and fiber. Instead, it's all about balancing them effectively. A diabetic-friendly plate should ideally be filled mostly with non-starchy vegetables. We're talking about half your plate. Starchy vegetables should be treated more like a grain or carbohydrate serving, taking up a smaller spot, maybe about a quarter of the plate. This kind of balance really helps in managing your carbohydrate intake and keeping those blood sugar levels more stable. Non-starchy vegetables are definitely your best friends when you're managing diabetes. They're low in carbohydrates and calories, but packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Some excellent low glycemic choices include leafy greens like spinach, kale, and lettuce, cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, and also things like bell peppers, asparagus, green beans, zucchini, cucumbers, and tomatoes. You can enjoy these more freely, and they're fantastic for adding bulk to your meals without having a big impact on your blood sugar. When you do include starchy vegetables in your meal, portion control is absolutely key. A standard serving of starchy veggies like potatoes, corn, or peas is usually about half a cup when cooked, or one small potato. Being mindful of these serving sizes helps you fit them into your diet without causing unnecessary spikes in your blood glucose. Another good tip is to pair starchy vegetables with lean protein and healthy fats, as this can also help slow down how quickly glucose is absorbed. Number 5, using canned vegetables with added sodium. Our fifth common mistake to discuss is using canned vegetables with added sodium. You see, managing sodium intake is particularly important for individuals with diabetes, as they're at a higher risk for developing high blood pressure or hypertension, which is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Many canned vegetables are packed with added sodium, used as a preservative and flavor enhancer. Consuming too much of this sodium can worsen blood pressure issues, further complicating diabetes management and increasing cardiovascular risks. Hidden sodium in canned vegetables can be a real sneaky problem. To spot it, you should always check the nutrition facts label on the can. Look for the sodium content and also pay attention to the serving size. It's best to opt for varieties that are labeled no salt added, low sodium, or reduced sodium. And be a bit wary of canned vegetables that come seasoned or in a sauce, as these often have even higher amounts of sodium and potentially unwanted sugars or fats too. If you find yourself using regular canned vegetables, there's a simple but effective step you can take to significantly cut down their sodium content. Just drain the vegetables in a colander and then rinse them thoroughly under cool running water. Doing this for at least 30 seconds to a minute can make a big difference. In fact, studies have shown that this rinsing process can wash away a substantial portion of that added sodium, making them a much healthier choice for your meals. Whenever you can, fresh or frozen vegetables are generally better alternatives to the canned varieties, mainly because they typically have very little or no added sodium. Fresh vegetables will give you the best flavor and nutrient profile, especially when they're in season. Frozen vegetables are also an excellent and convenient option because they're usually picked and frozen when they're at their ripest, which helps preserve most of their nutrients. If you go for frozen, try to select plain vegetables without any added sauces or seasonings so you can control your sodium and fat intake effectively. Number 6. Inconsistent cutting and cooking techniques. Let's look at the 6th mistake. Inconsistent cutting and cooking techniques. Now, the way you chop your vegetables might seem like a small detail, but if you're not consistent, it can lead to them cooking improperly and unevenly. If you've got a mix of big chunks and tiny pieces, those smaller bits are going to cook much faster and could end up overcooked and mushy by the time the larger pieces are just tender. This doesn't just affect the texture of your dish. It can also mean some parts are depleted of nutrients while others might be undercooked and harder for you to digest. So, cutting vegetables into uniform sizes is really important to make sure they cook evenly. And when they cook evenly, they tend to preserve their nutritional value more consistently. When vegetables are cooked uniformly to just the right level of doneness, ideally tender crisp, they hold on to more of their vitamins, minerals, and that beneficial fiber. This consistency in cooking means you're getting a more balanced nutritional intake from every single bite, which is so crucial for managing diabetes effectively. Different vegetables actually benefit from different cutting techniques to help them cook evenly. For root vegetables like carrots or potatoes, if you're using starchy ones in moderation, dicing or slicing them into similar-sized pieces works really well. For broccoli or cauliflower, try to cut the florets so they're all roughly the same size. And for long vegetables like green beans or asparagus, you can cut them into equal lengths. Just investing a little extra time in proper preparation can truly make a big difference to your final dish and its health benefits. Cooking temperature also plays a significant role in preserving the nutritional value of your vegetables, which, as we know, is vital for diabetics. Using high heat for short periods, like you would in stir-frying or quick steaming, is often better than cooking them for a long time at lower temperatures because it minimizes nutrient loss. However, be careful with excessively high temperatures, especially with methods like grilling or charring, as these can sometimes produce harmful compounds if the food gets burnt. The aim is to cook vegetables thoroughly yet gently, making sure they're palatable and digestible while retaining the maximum amount of nutrients. Number 7, overcooking vegetables. And finally, our 7th mistake is overcooking vegetables. This is such a common mistake, and it can really diminish their health benefits, especially for those of us managing diabetes. When vegetables are cooked for too long, they lose their structure, and their valuable fiber content can degrade. Remember, fiber is absolutely essential for blood sugar control because it slows down glucose absorption. So, those mushy, overcooked vegetables might not give you the same blood sugar regulation benefits as vegetables that are cooked to a more al dente or tender crisp state. The best cooking time for vegetables really varies depending on the type and the cooking method you're using. But a good general rule is to cook them until they're just tender and still look vibrant in color. This approach helps preserve those heat-sensitive nutrients like vitamin C and B vitamins, which can easily be lost if they're exposed to heat and water for too long. That's why short cooking methods such as steaming, sautéing, or stir-frying are often preferred over lengthy boiling, as they help retain the maximum nutritional value. So, how do you know when they're properly cooked? For diabetics, ideally, vegetables should be tender enough that you can easily pierce them with a fork, but they should still keep some of their natural crispness and bright color. For instance, green beans should be a lovely, vibrant green, not a dull olive drab. Broccoli should be bright green and firm tender, not soft and falling apart. Learning to recognize these visual and textural cues can really help you avoid overcooking and make sure you're getting the most out of your vegetable intake. Adopting al dente cooking methods, which means cooking vegetables until they are tender but still firm to the bite, is particularly beneficial for diabetes management. Vegetables cooked al dente keep more of their fiber structure intact. This, in turn, helps with slower digestion and a more gradual release of glucose into your bloodstream. And that helps prevent those sharp spikes in blood sugar levels, contributing to better overall glycemic control and making vegetables an even more effective part of your diabetic-friendly diet. Other considerations for diabetic vegetable preparation. Now, beyond those 7 mistakes, there are a few other things to keep in mind when preparing vegetables if you have diabetes. Timing when you eat your vegetables can really support stable blood sugar. Including non-starchy vegetables with every meal helps to moderate glucose absorption and also promotes that feeling of fullness. It's generally more beneficial to spread your vegetable intake throughout the day rather than having one large serving all at once. It's also a great idea to pair your vegetables, especially the starchy types, with lean protein and healthy fats. This combination works to slow down carbohydrate digestion, which results in a more gradual increase in your blood sugar. For example, you could enjoy some lovely steamed asparagus alongside grilled salmon. Batch cooking your vegetables weekly can be a really practical strategy. You could pre-roast a bunch or chop them up so they're ready for quick additions to your meals throughout the week. This helps ensure that healthy, fiber-rich options are always on hand, which is a big plus for consistent blood sugar management. And finally, opting for seasonal vegetables often means you're getting better taste and higher nutritional value, simply because they're harvested at their peak ripeness. This approach also encourages dietary variety, which provides a broader spectrum of essential nutrients for your overall well-being. So, by steering clear of these 7 common vegetable cooking mistakes, you can significantly improve your nutritional intake and make blood sugar management much more effective as a diabetic. By adopting these healthier cooking methods, you'll be able to enjoy the full benefits that vegetables have to offer, all while maintaining optimal health and vitality as you live with diabetes. It's all about making smart choices for a healthier you. Did you find this article helpful? If so, please feel free to share it. We'd also love to invite you to ask any questions you might have or share your own diabetic-friendly vegetable cooking tips in the comments below. Your experiences can be a real inspiration to others in our community who are also managing diabetes.